Omega.
Yes, Yankum.
So, I didn't get to watch any wrestling this week. I was real busy. Did I miss anything good?
Well, while you were off celebrating the birth of our Lord, no, you did not.
But I wasn't, because let's just start the show.
Well, now's no time for joking around. Just quiet down your chatter. Weekend pro wrestling is no laughing matter, baby. From Impact to Raw to SmackDown Blue, you'll be good at math and science if you only listen to Get Serious. Oh, Get Serious. Oh, Get Serious. Enough.
Welcome to Woo Get Serious, number 189. It's hard to believe we've been doing this for 189 episodes. I am your humble sound engineer, Isaac Yanko DDS, and with us, as always, our esteemed and righteous leader, Omega BR.
Yes, I know you were lighting many candles as you celebrate the illustrious holiday of Kwanzaa.
Yes. Yeah, I was celebrating Kwanzaa. Back this week with us is Vassar.
Hey, Sammy, I know you're out there listening to us.
And the illustrious Save Us Dog is back again this week.
Hey, how's it going? Are you guys planning something super duper special for 100? Because you should, because Raw does.
For 200? We're probably going to do the Wrestling RPG again. Stay tuned for that. We'll be probably announcing that in episode 195, exactly what we're doing. But I would guess it's going to be the Wrestling RPG game where IGM and the panel will play characters in a match. You may notice a distinct lack of Gunner this week. He's running a little behind. And also, can we have just a second? He's not here. Netjester is not here. This is the best week ever. So let's not jinx it and jump straight into the news. The Rock announced he will appear at WrestleMania 32 despite his filming schedule, though it's unlikely he would be wrestling. The Slammies were once again based on a legitimate vote, though WWE acknowledges the criticism of many of the winners being absent and are considering giving the voting a week's head start, or even doing the awards during WrestleMania week when most of the big stars are around. And a side note, Heath Slater actually broke the top 10 for the Superstar of the Year vote. Talents were told that random checkups on their personal medical insurance coverage would start February 21st, and that any talent not up to date would be put on the inactive list. Minneapolis is apparently out of the running for WrestleMania 33, leaving Orlando as the current favorite. Well, shit.
Florida.
Didn't we just have Florida?
We're about to have Florida again, aren't we?
It seemed like it. It seemed like we just had Florida, and then we're about to have Florida, and then we're going to have Florida again.
It was 24 and 28, I think, were Orlando and Miami, respectively.
Yeah, so it'd be about 8 years after they were in Orlando. But these type of big events are supposed to be destination shows. A lot of these events are where people are flying into the city, and that's a large part of the discussion.
I would complain that they don't have WrestleManias in California, but we get SummerSlam every year, so,
I literally just had one this year.
But Minneapolis is a major city.
Well, the real appeal of Minneapolis, as opposed to a city like Orlando, was the fact that they have the new big NFL stadium debuting next year, and that was sort of the idea.
Well, and the thing is, they might just want to wait a year and see how everything turns out with that, because it's still being built. I mean, it's not quite there yet. And, they could come to Minneapolis at any point and sell out the building. That's not going to be an issue.
Well, I think another part of it was kind of that idea of they're having Super Bowl 52 at said stadium, and kind of the idea of, let's get one in before the NFL or what have you. But
that's a good strategy, though.
I think their strategy actually with this now is that they're going to get one after the Super Bowl that beats the attendance record. And then they can say they beat the NFL's attendance record.
Well, that's pretty much how it always goes. A lot of these stadiums, you'll notice, they chose after the Super Bowl about a year later. And, of course, an event like wrestling, given the smaller area of the stage and the ring above the stage. But
as always, I never know when I'm muted.
I would like to state that I refuse to acknowledge that the Slammies are based on legitimate voting until Heath Slater wins Superstar of the Year every year. Every year.
He deserves it.
He deserves at least one. The guy's... Poor Heath Slater. The shit that he goes through.
I don't necessarily care about The Rock being at WrestleMania.
Nobody cares about The Rock at WrestleMania.
Well, I like The Rock as much as the next guy, but whatever he's going to do, at least if it's not a match, which it's probably not going to be, it's going to be something that isn't really... It's more kind of...
like
it'll
the
be
Rousey
like
thing?
Yeah, it'll be like this year. It'll be the Rousey thing. Something that, it's kind of a moment they can flash on TV shows, but not necessarily a moment where I'm like, oh yeah, that's classic Rock, I'm glad he showed up.
Yeah, it'll just be something like last year's thing with Ronda. Hopefully they can get someone like Ronda again to make some headlines.
The thing they did at 30 was great. But,
Alright, and the insurance things, I wonder if that has something to do with the Affordable Care Act or something.
I think that's probably just them covering themselves in a way because, when they take care of their personal stuff, they don't want... Well, there's actually been a lot of injuries, by the way, lately. So they just want everybody to be kept up and, not... well, obviously, if WWE doesn't take care of their personal... They take care of in-ring issues, but not out-of-ring issues. So, if something happens out of the ring... again, that's star power. That's a lot of different factors.
All right. There's not a whole lot left to talk about in that, so let's move on to the next one. Jeff Hardy may need new knee surgery, which could put him out of action until late 2016. He and his brother Matt have about 10 to 12 weeks left on their current deals. Mike Tenay's TNA contract ends at the end of the year. Michael Bennett and Maria have finished up with Ring of Honor and were allegedly telling people they will start with TNA in January. Michael Elgin, Matt Taven, and tag champs Ray Rowe and Hanson are currently working without contracts. Magnus revealed he almost quit TNA after Vince Russo suggested he'd never be world champion because he was a Brit. On the heels of his penis test of strength footage that went viral, Joey Ryan now has a sponsorship with YouPorn and will wear themed gear. Okay.
Awesome.
LOL TNA.
It's just Joey Ryan with the YouPorn sponsorship is one of the best things ever, and congrats to him for making some money off of it.
How the hell does TNA still stay on air?
Well, I've got the big Pop TV deal now.
Yeah, that's doomed to fail.
Sorry, I was looking at this penis test of strength thing. It's basically a guy grabbing his dick and then behaving as if he's in an arm bar. It's nice. He gave him a hip toss with his penis.
What?
Yeah, I'll link it in the description for the show if I can.
It's up everywhere on YouTube. I'm sure. It's fun as hell.
One where he it looks like the dude's grabbing the guy's crotch, but actually it's his penis throwing him.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I've seen that.
So yeah, that's something. So YouPorn, first. They were getting themselves a CSGO team, and now they're sponsoring wrestlers. They're really expanding.
I think it's good marketing, so good for them. But, yeah, I agree. How is TNA still alive, and how the hell are they signing Michael Bennett, and why, if you are Michael Bennett, are you going to TNA? Those are three questions I have that have no good answers.
Because WWE won't talk to you. I don't know.
Well, the TNA... Well, it's kind of a weird position because TNA wants big names now. They want to revitalize yet again. But I don't know how much in the bank they have to really entice. I mean, you're talking about Michael Bennett. He's been in Ring of Honor for many years now. He could use perhaps a change of scenery. Maybe if he gets some momentum in TNA, that could give him a look out, elsewhere. It's happened before.
Well, I can't imagine him going to TNA and being happy because, TNA.
Well, it might also be a comfort thing, maybe he doesn't necessarily want to keep, and, him and Maria are married, maybe they don't necessarily want to keep.
No, hold on, you're disrupting my personal reality. They are not married, they are just friends, and that's all there is to that.
Does anyone else feel like WWE and TNA are waiting a little long to sign some of the indie guys?
They have a pretty damn stacked roster right now.
Well, right now, but beforehand, it just took them forever, and it just kind of feels like some of these guys are getting up there in age by the time they ever get up to Raw or actually on TNA.
I think TNA is in a better position to scoop up people than WWE, at least in the sense that WWE, there's only so many people you can sign and so many people that can really make an impact, so to speak. Whereas TNA, again, the big issue is, the money and everything. But yeah, TNA is in a much, and always really kind of has been, a better position to get independent people in there and kind of show off their stuff and better the overall product. But they've always sort of been bad at that.
And on top of that, it just kind of shocks me that they ROH put the tag titles on War Machine without them working under contract. That sounds risky.
Not like a good idea, I would say. but I guess they could have maybe not a written contract, but a handshake deal, and something would have to come along for them to actually, have those titles and want to fuck them over, and the chances of that seem kind of slim. Like it would have to be a really, really good deal for them to fuck over the company. Speaking of fucking over the company, the proposed Shane McMahon DVD, that was not a good segue. Shane McMahon DVD was scrapped in part because it was unlikely Shane himself would have any involvement in it. NXT's debut at the Turner's Hall Ballroom in Milwaukee in January may be interesting, as it's a venue that Ring of Honor often uses amid rumblings that WWE would run certain venues if they didn't run ROH anymore. Nikki Bella will be out of action until the end of January, where she'll learn if she needs neck surgery or not. Tyler Rex participated in a Reddit AMA and revealed that John Cena had a serious vendetta against Alex Riley to the point where nearly the entire locker room felt it was uncalled for, mentioning Cena going through his bag and agenting a tag match they were involved in, berating everything Riley did. JTG recalled when Crime Time were released after an impromptu ref bump in a live event match, leading to Shad Gaspard auctioning the ref's belt and shirt to the crowd, and Cena yelling at him backstage afterward. That's not the Cena that we usually hear about, is it?
So apparently he's the nice guy everyone thinks he is?
Well, I think Cena is, human. I think he has people he doesn't like. You've had certain people, Michael Tarver, for example, come out and say, Cena, for whatever reason, if he doesn't like you, he's going to treat you as much as a lot of other people. I mean, now granted, that's only one side of it, of course, but I don't know why Rex would lie. It's kind of a weird... And it would be kind of a weird thing to lie about, too, kind of saying, here's this guy, Riley, who, by the way, is still with the company. I mean, it's not like he's long gone or anything. And here's Cena, who, for whatever reason, doesn't like him or didn't like him or had a thing with him, and he's doing things that are kind of uncalled for, but that he can get away with because, of course, he's the paramount of the company, going through a bag, which is a big breach of etiquette, apparently. And
it doesn't sound much different from like what HBK used to do in the mid '90s. Like the guy who knows that he can't be touched, and Cena can't be touched. I mean, he knows that. He's not stupid. He knows his career is moving above the WWE soon.
Well, I don't know if it's even really a matter of, I can do what I want because I can't be touched. I think it's a matter of, I'm John Cena. I've been leading this company for, 10 years now. It's my responsibility to, if I don't like what this guy's doing, I'm going to tell him so. And, I've earned that right and this and that. And, maybe it's not, let's assume for a second that everything Rex says is true, and the way he told it, maybe from Cena's perspective, it's he does like Riley, and this is his version of tough love, or maybe he really doesn't like Riley, and he's kind of using him as the fall guy to set his example. I don't know.
You think Cena's maybe trying to be like Taker, who was always the leader of the locker room?
Well, maybe so. I mean, but it does seem like this particular story is interesting because it's directed at one person. It's not like the JTG thing where Cena got in Shad's face and was yelling at him and telling him what an idiot he was and this and that for an incident that was, arguably uncalled for, where you kind of call a ref bump on the spot and, maybe the ref isn't trained to do that, or the ref doesn't really know what's going on, and maybe something goes wrong, and I mean, this seems to be a series of rather calculated attacks on one person, and it does seem to be a personal vendetta. I mean, a vendetta, that is what it seems like, which would be interesting because, again, that's not the Cena we've heard about, but at the same time it suggests that maybe he's not really above a lot of things that have plagued the locker room in years past. I mean,
Also, Shane, please, for the love of God, just come back for like a month and we'll all be happy. We know you have a business, we know you have your own life, but I just would love to see him back in WWE for like a week or a month or something.
Seriously, that guy was fucking fantastic.
He was one of the best, like, of all of the McMahons. He was the best of the McMahons.
His silliness was definitely the most tolerable.
He was probably the best wrestler of all of them, too.
Oh,
without
easily.
question. I mean,
easily.
He put on matches that were pretty good, top to bottom. Like, his career was in the ring was damn good for how much training he had.
And he was willing to take the most insane bumps. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, that coast to coast. I would shit myself if you put me on the top rope and asked me to do that. That guy was nuts.
I mean, I feel like with Shane, there's a bit of Vince in him where he wants to be able to make his own thing. And to him, that means not being involved anymore. And it might just be the company that he's working for just doesn't want to have that happen. So, who knows?
What company is he working for now?
I don't know.
It's some major international corporation. It's not small potatoes, that's for sure.
Isn't it some, like, international telecommunications thingy?
Something like that.
You on Demand.
Just because you haven't heard of it doesn't mean there aren't millions upon billions of people that use the service, so...
Yeah. Let's go through. He's a one-time European champion, one-time hardcore champion, a multiple pay-per-view headliner, and what else? I thought he held he only challenged for the WCW. I thought he had won that one, but apparently not.
No, that was it was the match at SummerSlam or one of those pay-per-views. It was against The Rock when he was the champ, WCW champ.
But yeah, I would like for him to come back. That's probably not going to happen, but that's what it is.
It would be a really good DVD too. He's got good matches and good moments all around.
There's some of the top rated oh my god moments of all time.
He really wouldn't need to be involved in it, though.
Yeah. It would be cool if he would come back just to do the DVD. But, I mean, who knows? Probably not going to happen. Nikki being out until the end of January doesn't hurt anything. Maybe her and Brie could go on a vacation. That'd be nice. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's upset about that. We'll see if they come back. So, I mean, that's she has been working that harder style,
They've both improved vast amounts. They're still not quite
as good as any of the other divas.
Yeah, I would say they're not quite ready for prime time. Which is funny because they're the top divas of the entire company.
They've been learning in prime time for how many years now?
Yeah, exactly.
Many.
And speaking of them, the one Slammy, I've always believed the Slammies were legit. The voting was legit, even when it was something like Reigns last year winning Superstar, even though he was kind of out for a while. But the one Slammy that's made me question it is Nikki Bella winning Diva of the Year. I just don't get it. above, Charlotte, the other face divas. I mean,
nope. Name them.
Like Sasha Banks would,
even Sasha, even even Paige for that matter.
Yeah, Paige was face for the majority of the year, wasn't she?
For a while there, yeah. I mean, I don't see Nikki as both, a heel, the heel. I don't know if people kind of gave her the rub because she kind of she did get the longest reigning champion thing, or my other theory was maybe there is a contingency of people who watch Total Divas and like Total Divas and also like dumb social media stuff like voting for the Slammies and decided because Nikki really is the star of the show along with Brie to an extent, or so I've heard.
All right, and let's finish out real quick with we got the NXT debuting at Turner's Hall Ballroom, which apparently WWE was saying that they would run in certain venues if those venues didn't run ROH anymore, which is kind of a dick move.
Yeah, it is, but I guess it remains to be seen. That's kind of back in the territory days. That's kind of tactical. All
right, well, let's get into the 15-minute time limit. Gunner's still not here. I thought he'd be here by now, but fuck it. We got shit to do. Mega BR, would you like to introduce this week's 15-minute time limit?
No.
Okay, then well, goddamn.
All right, well, we were off last week, of course. I hope everybody had a happy holiday. And Yankum, I wish a tip-top tet. But, basically it has been 2 weeks. 2 weeks since Roman Reigns won the championship on Raw. So is Reigns' reigning supreme? Or is it raining and flooding and going down the drain? Is Reigns' championship of 2 weeks going well? I'm going to give you a soft no. And I'll tell you why. Because, ironically, a lot of what Reigns has done in the 2 weeks, and let's face it, in 2 weeks, we really mean the 2 Raws, Stephanie called him out, he went to the ring, he laughed in Stephanie's face, he walked away from Stephanie, laughing, and then at the end of the show, he came out to do some spears and things, during the cage match, and spear Sheamus. And then last night on Raw, Vince called him out, he came out, he laughed at Vince, the cops they didn't do a very good job of kind of conducting this scenario, but Stephanie had cops that were, I guess, supposed to be doing security at the arena, and she dragged him out to the ring to arrest Reigns, and they were like, immediately, no, that's not going to happen. And then they were immediately like, stop yelling at me or you're getting arrested. And Vince was arrested, and et cetera, et cetera. Reigns laughs, he stands on the turnbuckle with the title, doesn't have to say too much, laughs some more, sticks his tongue out, licks his beard with it. And then at the end of the show, he came out and did some spears and cleaned house, and then finally we'll have the rematch with Sheamus next week. My issue is, well, first of all, that spear is getting worse every time I see it, because people are literally jumping straight up in the air just so when he hits them, it looks like he got a big spear on him,
Well, and he jumps in the air too. He's usually airborne when he hits the spear, which is it's That's not how the spear works, or is supposed to work.
Yeah, I mean, there's always been the debate of what's really a spear, what's really a tackle, or whatever. But yeah, I mean, when you see Rusev literally just crouch down and jump in the air, as if that's the appropriate reaction to Reigns running toward you, so he can hit that thing. I mean, even the Superman punch is kind of lame at this point. I mean, he really just all he does is jump in the air and hits you with a punch. I mean, what makes that? I mean, he hit one on Raw last night that was literally 2 inches. That was the distance from him and I think it was Sheamus, or no, Del Rio. I think. Well, it doesn't matter. And so, I mean, if it's a big running punch, then okay. But when it happens right next to the guy, I'm not so sure.
Right. Like, I think they're trying to play that as a out of nowhere finisher when it clearly should not be. That is one that should require some build, like a run and a jump in order to pull off. Because you're right, otherwise you're just punching the guy in the face and nobody else but the Big Show gets away with that bullshit.
All I'm trying to say is they need to be careful with it, because the more they kind of spam it, the goofier it's going to look. Because,
yeah.
And, I mean, which brings me to my next point. Back in the day, Steve Austin hit stunners on everybody, and a good majority of them, or at least half of them, it looked pretty goofy.
I'd say at least 2/3 of them looked awful.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like... I mean, again, you kick a guy, you don't even touch him half the time. You do the arm, you grab him in the headlock, and then the guy springs back. But that's the thing, it didn't really matter, because people were so pumped to see Austin do that. I remember back, one of my favorite segments, I think I brought it up before, was the Black Wedding between Stephanie and The Undertaker, and they had Stephanie tied to The Undertaker logo. And, here's all this kind of, when's Austin going to come out? Here comes, Shane's kind of holding his crew back. Here came Ken Shamrock, and he got beat down. Here came Big Show, and he got beat down with a ball bat. And then the glass shatters, and here's Austin, and, he just runs straight into a guy in the aisle, tackles him. He's hitting stunners. Not all of them look perfect, but again, it doesn't matter because he's clearing the ring, and that's what Reigns has kind of done the past 2 weeks. But the problem is that I have with it, at least I personally, I don't find that reason to really get hyped for Reigns to clear the ring. I mean, he's champion, but again, going back to that whole, they want Reigns to be a star now, they want Reigns to be the powerhouse now. You get Vince involved with this whole storyline, and again, Reigns has just kind of stood there and done nothing while Vince assaults a police officer and gets arrested. Reigns barely has to say anything or do anything, and it's really kind of ironic because
but that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what we all agreed was the thing he needed to do.
That's what he has to do because he can't talk. So that's like, honestly, the fact that they've been keeping every single thing that he says short and sweet and to the point. It's better. It's not good. I'm not going to pretend and say that it's a good promo, but it's much better than what he's been doing.
Yeah, but also to Vince's credit, he was trying to protect Stephanie from going to jail again. Because, that happened a year ago.
I thought she's been to jail a couple of times. Well, kayfabe-wise.
But kayfabe, like the last time she did it, she was all traumatized from being in jail and whatnot, so I could kind of understand why Vince overreacted.
But my issue with it, and I totally agree, it's a lot better than what he has been doing. He probably shouldn't have the stick, for an extended period. My problem with it, though, is that I don't have that reason to have Reigns come out and hit his, goofy midair spears and get pumped for it. I know it's coming, but I'm not excited like I was with Austin because I don't have that reason yet. The whole Austin thing, really what they're trying to do is they're trying to recreate that. They're trying to recreate how Austin was going up against the boss. They brought in Vince. I mean, this isn't like a beef between Triple H and Reigns, which, by the way, Triple H hasn't been seen since that happened. It's a beef with Vince now, but the beef is so sudden and like out of automatic. It was like you insult Vince a couple of times, and Vince is hot-headed. He's giving you a title match. You're winning the title. He's he's threatening cops. I mean, it's all way too rushed from where I'm sitting.
Yeah, well, and there's
manufactured.
There's no real consequences.
There's no real antagonist.
Well, what I'm saying is, there's no. If Austin hadn't, won, there would have been consequences. And Austin, he went to jail in 3 or 4 arenas or whatever, and shit happened to Austin that Vince did to him to make us care about the shit that was going on.
It was
this
back
is
and
just
forth.
Hey, look, this guy's going against the boss. Yeah, I better cheer him because Mr. McMahon's the bad guy. And it's no, I don't care. There's no stakes.
And it's funny that they think he's the bad guy when he gets one of the biggest pops of the night when he comes out.
Right.
Yeah, and again, to be fair, again, it's only been 2 weeks. There's plenty of time for Reigns to, I mean, really, they've been beating up the Usos and Ambrose more than they have Reigns. That's the other thing. But again, there's plenty of time for Reigns to, kind of get his lumps as well from the McMahons. But to your point, Yankum, when you kind of do that and go up against Vince, I mean, you have to kind of tread that line because there's always sort of that internal voice saying, well, what if Vince just does fire him? Or what if Vince does strip him of the title? Or what if Vince just, does suspend him or put him in a 10-man handicap match or something,
He should do that. That's exactly what should happen. Vince should strip Reigns of the title and then fire him. And then Reigns should hire Paul Heyman to come back and sue McMahon for breach of contract. There's your interesting storyline for how Roman Reigns is the good guy, and he's been fucked over by Vince, and now he's going to fuck Vince over and win and be the good guy.
That makes too much sense for WWE to ever do it, though.
I think another big, to Dog's point, there is no antagonist, because another big thing about the McMahon-Austin era was that while McMahon was the boss, he wasn't the one that, at the end of the day, was facing Austin across the ring.
That's The Rock.
Yeah,
it was Triple H. There was someone who was going to physically fight them. Yeah, and there's no one and that's the thing. Once H comes back, there's going to be someone who's going to physically fight. That's obviously what they're all building to, but right now it's just, it falls flat because, Sheamus isn't even there, though. He wasn't there the past 2 weeks.
There's a few things going on.
I thought he was on last week.
I mean, he was there, but not, once Reigns won the title, he kind of just stepped out.
Sheamus isn't the representative for the McMahons. He's getting his rematch, but the McMahons aren't saying, obviously Sheamus is our guy, the way Triple H was Vince's guy, or The Rock during the corporate era. I mean, and that's one of the biggest problems I've always had with the Authority storyline, is even when they had somebody who was their guy, like Seth Rollins, he was constantly getting berated, he was constantly sort of being told, Seth, we're putting you in this, steel cage, flaming chair match with Brock Lesnar, but it's for your benefit. You go out there and prove it to them. There was never really that level of, we want Rollins to be the champion because he's our guy, and we're going to do everything in our power to screw over Reigns.
Exactly. And, they're the heels. They should be doing all of the sneaky, underhanded shit to keep their guy champion all the time. The closest they came was J&J Security, and I don't even know if J&J was like officially authority. I think he was just Rollins' lackeys.
Still great, though.
Well, I mean, yeah.
There's the whole thing that, like, Austin, like, the crowd loved Austin. The crowd really doesn't care all that much about Reigns, and it just, this whole thing has been rushed since Rollins has been put out of action.
Well, yeah, it couldn't be more clear there was no backup plan behind Rollins. Not even Sheamus that was just because he had the briefcase.
Yeah. And also, Triple H showed up on NXT London, but apparently NXT is not kayfabe.
They need a real champion. Somebody to be their guy above all else, who has a lot of heat and makes a good heel, and everybody already knows who he is. He has face recognition, and I think you already know where I'm going with this. No? Randy Orton.
Yeah, but his shoulder and his neck.
He's completely out of action, basically.
I don't know how excited I would be for that either, to be honest.
Also, that storyline's been done, 2 or 3 times now at this point?
Hold on, I have to step out, guys. Go ahead and just amongst yourself there.
Yeah, there was the whole I remember when Randy Orton was the one facing the McMahons, and to have him be the good guy now would be weird.
They just did Evolution and all of that. I mean,
Orton's no stranger to flip-flopping and everything, but so I think it's on the table, but it's on the edge of the table. I think ultimately Reigns is either going to face Brock Lesnar or Triple H himself, and I think to give them the tiniest benefit of the doubt, it is the end of the year, which is always sort of a lull period anyway. It is that period between now and the Royal Rumble where, and then the Rumble and WrestleMania where they're kind of like, we're really just building toward our Mania matches anyway.
They're really banking on a lot of normal people subscribing to the WWE network.
And I think ultimately what we can take away from this certainly is that Reigns, a good hero is only as good as his villain. And Reigns does need a villain that's not necessarily just the McMahons, who he's already just kind of laughed at, and Vince, who he's already, suffered no real consequences from. We'll see what happens in that match where Vince is the ref. But I do think once Triple H comes back, that's kind of where the crux of this whole thing will go. And
there is a match I would love to see. Big Show versus Reigns in a fist versus fist match.
Oh, we all know how that would go.
Yeah, that does not sound like fun to me.
It's just them repetitively punching each other in the face for 20 minutes.
But yeah, certainly Reigns needs his opponent, his enemy.
Well, and they could have at least had something. I'm not saying the thing, but something in the League of Nations, but he buried them within a month. The entire faction. He just kicked the shit out of them.
The League was never meant to be anything but a transition. I'm still not
they could at least transition to the Royal Rumble. Like they transitioned from a month and a half. Like it was hardly anything before it became something.
Yeah, it could have been a good time filler. You're right, but honestly, part of me still believes that Reigns got cheered that one week, and then they were like, "Oh, this is it. This is our moment," and put the title on him, and now they're just trying to keep him cheered. Which, to be fair, so far he's the crowd as a general sense, they're not. They seem to be behind Reigns. Well, they're not booing him anyway. They're not Rumble 15 booing him. That's good, I guess.
Well, the question to me is, we are about less than a month away from the Royal Rumble. Like, who is he facing at the Rumble? Is he even going to have a match at the pay-per-view?
Maybe Sheamus, even though we're having the match at Raw. That's the only thing I can think of, and let's be honest, it's not like Sheamus needs to be in the Rumble, or much less win it. Yeah, Rumble title matches almost never mean anything. So, I don't think it will this year, certainly. I think...
Yeah, because even if you manage to win during a Rumble title match, you're just going to probably end up losing the belt to whoever wins the Rumble. At WrestleMania, so...
But yeah, I mean, it's just... To me, it's just kind of strange, because even with that known, they've still had a challenger for the Rumble, and it was somewhat semi-important. But this year, there's no one. Maybe Sheamus again, but why the hell would you book that again? We've already seen it enough.
Because they don't have enough guys that could actually stand up to Roman, I guess.
To me, this leaves the door open for something weird like having him go against Dean Ambrose and having a title versus title or something like that. Just throw a total curveball out there if you're going to try and bring the Attitude Era back,
Well, I certainly think they have options. It's just a matter of connecting the dots, which,
Alright, we had about 5 minutes of overtime there, but that's alright. That means... You know what? I'm hungry. You guys hungry?
Sure.
A little something to nosh, maybe?
How about a blizzard? Yeah.
Yeah!
How about a treats of pizza?
Texas
Ooh. I like the one with the Snickers in it. That's a good one.
Dairy Queen drive-through.
Alright, it's time for the Dairy Queen drive-thru, and with the ratings, Vassar. Let's have Vassar do the ratings.
Yeah, because we weren't all expecting that. And now for the ratings. TNA Impact Final Edition on Destination America drew 155,000 viewers for the 11 p.m. time slot, down 42% from the 269,000 in the usual 9 p.m. time slot. TNA drew 111 for their Best of special on Pop. A rerun of Days of Our Lives as the lead-in for that drew 211,000 viewers. 100,000 more than the show itself got. So, and on to SmackDown. Super SmackDown drew 2.264 million viewers, down 30% from last Thursday's 2.332 million viewers. And finally, Raw. This week's ratings are delayed, so we're gonna go with last week's. Last week drew 3.376 million viewers. This is down 13% from the week that Vince McMahon came back.
And now with the birthdays, I guess it's me. Alright. Starting off with...
Can I just say something? That Days of Our Lives, a rerun of it, drew more than Impact.
Almost double.
Nearly double.
Wow.
Days of Our Lives...
That. I wasn't paying attention.
I think TNA Impact could learn a thing or two from Days of Our Lives, because Days of Our Lives has been on in the air since like the 60s. So they know how to make TV.
Yes, they do.
They know how to make people watch TV. Maybe just rip some storylines off from Days of Our Lives, and it would be so much better than whatever the shit they put on now.
They should just take that Panda money and straight up steal away the writers for Days of Our Lives. Or even better, if you want them to have really, really good storylines, they should just go out and find all the writers for Passions
Yes.
hire those guys.
Oh my god, Passion's the only
I mean, you're already so far down, just go way over the top with it. That's all I'm saying.
It'd be like Rocky Horror Wrestling. It'd be fantastic.
like WCW era, but 10 times crazier.
Yes, but better.
Even
All right.
better.
Getting into the happy birthdays here. Happy birthday for the 22nd. We have Doc Gallows and Caristico. On the 23rd are Art Cannon, Juventud Guerrera, Jamie Noble, and Kaiji Muto. On the 24th, we have Chris Hero. On the 25th, we have Chris Harris and Raka Khan. On the 26th is Midian. Can you tell I've been practicing my reading aloud? It's going really well. This is why I'm the sound producer. On the 27th, Bart Gunn, Cesaro, Goldberg, China, The Wall, and Thea Trinidad. If you can figure out which one of those are album names, tweet us and we'll retweet you or something. I don't know. 28th, we have Tatsumi Fujinami. On the 29th, B-Boy and Justin Roberts. On the 30th, Eddie Edwards and Pierre Ouellette. And, is that Ouellette or Oulet? I'm not sure. On the 31st, we have Sakota, Matt Cross, and Martin Stone. On January 1st, we have Jimmy Hart, Rayo de Jalisco Jr., Kimberly.
Not just as much as Netjester, huh?
Go fuck yourself, you're late. Negative 100 points. Kimberly, Bobby Roode, Mean Street Posse, the Mean Street Posse's Rodney. Why are we talking about some guy's Rodney? That doesn't seem appropriate. This isn't that kind of show.
Oh, no!
Alright, on the 3rd we have New Jack and Jim Ross, and on the 4th, Kenyon, La Parca 2, and Jim Powers. Let's see, let's go ahead and give Gunner his negative points for showing up late.
Oh my God. God is my witness! He is broken in half!
I thought it was that last bit there. I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to play the buy a lot of things, but lingual isn't one of them.
No, not right now.
All right, and now for this week in wrestling, is Omega BR.
No, in fact, it is last week in wrestling.
Oh, it is last week in wrestling history with Omega BR.
Yes, circa 1981, we're at World Class Championship Wrestling's Christmas Star Wars in Dallas, Texas. Jose Lothario defeats Ernie Ladd in Dallas to win the NWA Texas Brass Knuckles title for the 3rd time. Also, Tiny Tom defeats Little Tokyo to win the NWA World Midgets title, ending Tokyo's 2nd reign. Jump to 2000, where Ian Rotten defeats Dino Bambino in West Allis, Wisconsin to win the Mid-American Wrestling Heavyweight title for the 4th time. And in 2004, Chiharu and Yuka Nakamura defeat Vampire Bat Witch Diva Rats 1 and 2 in Tokyo, Japan to win the vacant Neo Itabashi Tag Team title in Tokyo. And that was this weekend wrestling history. Last week in
wrestling history.
Good
Was
job.
there no this week in wrestling history?
This week didn't happen. This week did not happen throughout all of history.
Wow.
That's what happens when you miss a week when you produce shows. That's how it works. That's how time works. It's crazy, isn't it?
I know. Right?
Yeah,
It's pretty crazy. Yeah, especially when I'm on daylight savings time here. Apparently.
I don't know what you're doing.
Fell back. Yeah, me either. But you know what I am doing, though? I'm doing the Happy Trails, because it's my last segment before I go on my little vacation here. Happy Trails to The Rock and his girlfriend Lauren Hashian, who welcomed the baby girl. And Happy Trails to legendary luchador Luzmark, who passed away at the age of 66. He was one of the only 2 people to hold the NWA World titles in 3 different weight divisions.
Points?
Little Rock.
All right, points. Netjester with positive 272 points for not showing up this week. However, he does receive negative 75,000 points because he said Bunny Cat at the end of last week's show and refuses to learn a lesson. Save Us Dog scoring 50 points. You are now a recurring character on the show. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think that's a typo. Congratulations. That doesn't seem right.
No, that's right. You got it.
All right, negative 15 points to Omega BR for disrupting my reality. Maria is not married. She is going to convert to Judaism and marry me, and we're going to have 5 kids and a bunch of dogs on a farm. And if you tell me otherwise, I will give you more negative points. Because I am a petty, petty man. Negative 10 points to Vassar for being too goddamn quiet. This is a talk show, buddy. They can't see you. You gotta audiate. I just made a new word there. 10 points to Dog, because Ray's not talking is indeed the best idea. Oh, I missed 5 points that Omega BR scored positive, because he actually managed to make Raw sound even more boring than it probably actually was. 15 points to Vassar, because he's right. I should never try to apply logic to the WWE. It just doesn't work that way. 5 more points for Vassar. I rate your ratings 8 of 8. It's great, Nate. No debate. I can't overstate. And 150 negative points. Negative 150 points to Gunner for being late.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I had real life come up.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, real life happens sometimes.
Bilingual. There's a lot of fine things I am, but lingual is not one of them.
That's the one.
Hey, wait a minute. Did I just mean to say that?
I don't think you did, but be that as it may, we're live.
Also,
That never gets old.
New Day Rocks! New Day Rocks! New Day Rocks! New Day Rocks!
I need one with him doing the trombone while they're doing that.
Yes, you do. Faster, get on that. I'll give you 200 points.
Okay.
Oh, I never gave the overall points. Jesus Christ,
No,
what
you
am I
haven't.
doing?
I'm trying to get points back. That's what I'm trying to do.
NJ scoring negative 74,728 points this episode, bringing him down to negative 185,381.
And weren't
Gunner
you giving him
scoring
positive points because he didn't show up?
I did. He got 272 positive points for not showing up. He also said Bunny Cat at the end of the last episode, so I gave him negative 75,000.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, until he learns his lesson, he will continue to get negative points for that. Negative 150 points to Gunner for not showing up, bringing him down to 240. Omega scored negative points this episode as well, bringing him down to 585 points. Vassar scoring 10 positive points, bringing him up to 195. And Davis. What?
Oh, moving up the points pretty quick.
Yeah! Save Us Dog scoring 60 points this episode, bringing him up to 160. You guys are more better. Now, there's no need to be jealous.
I wouldn't
That's
be
it.
jealous of me either, to be honest. I'm just doing my job.
All right,
What can I say?
let's see here. You guys are really disappointing me. We have Wrestle Kingdom 10 this week, and we didn't actually preview that. Come on now.
Want to do a quick little preview to end out the show, because that is coming up Monday, and we will be
It's like
talking
a
about it
ridiculous
because
hour.
it's going to be a great fucking show.
Here, hold on. Let me bring up the card, and we'll talk about it. But yeah, we're going to be watching it in West, just so y'all know. I mean, that should be pretty much obvious. let's see here. Wrestle Kingdom 10 is going to be at the Tokyo Dome on January 4th. It is, quote-unquote, the January 4th show, January 4th, 2016. The matches, and we'll run through them quick. Because basically, we're all telling you on this show that what you should be watching this week in wrestling is the Wrestle Kingdom 10. Whether you catch it on the replay or you stay up really early, and you watch it. This is what wrestling is right now. This is how good wrestling is right now, and you're about to find out. So here we go.
Really good suggestion for this week, based off of whatever. Let's go on.
Yeah.
What was your suggestion then, Mr. Party Pooper?
I was going to suggest the Shane McMahon versus Kurt Angle match from King of the Ring 2001 because we mentioned Shane McMahon during the news.
Which you would have known if you were here.
Which is the third time that we've mentioned it this month. I'm not going to lie.
Is it?
Yes.
That goes to show how much
Jester suggested that match at the beginning of the month, and I suggested the same match 2 weeks later, if you don't remember.
Negative points to both of you for suggesting the same match as Net Jester.
Damn it.
I think that's what he came up with. Alright, so the first match here is the New Japan Rumble. It's Hiroshi Tenzan versus Jado versus Jushin Thunder Liger versus Manabu Nakanishi versus Ryusuke Taguchi versus Satoshi Kojima versus Tiger Mask and versus Yuji Nagata. It's the New Japan Rumble. It's the opening match. You know there's going to be something funny going on with that. Where's my Captain New Japan?
Is he hurt?
Where's my captain? He must be.
He might be hurt. I can't remember exactly, but also maybe he might be just a surprise entrant. Who knows?
We'll see. I got Tenzan winning this one.
It doesn't matter. It's the opening match. Who cares?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Four-way tag team match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. Reed Dragon, Bobby Fish, and Kylie O'Reilly, who are the champions right now, versus Matt Sydal and Ricochet, Roppongi Vice of Beretta and Rocky Romero, and the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson. Who's taking this one home?
Young Bucks.
Well, either way, Young Bucks are probably going home after this.
Young Bucks. I think Young Bucks. I think it's going to be a very good night for the Bullet Club. Let's put it that way. You're going to find that you're going to see that come out quite often. Let's see here. Anybody else? No. Bueller. We're just doing this quick. Come on, guys. The Bullet Club of Bad Luck Fale, Tama Tonga, and Yujiro Takahashi versus Jay Briscoe, Mark Briscoe, and Toru Yano. It'll be a six-man tag team match for the never open-weight six-man tag team championship. The winners will be the inaugural champions. This is the first time that this championship will debut. They're doing a trios title, and I think it's time for Tama to win a belt.
I think it's time for the hashtag Fale movement to get another belt under its belt.
I'm just going to go with Gunner said.
Because I don't see the Briscoe brothers. I don't see the Briscoe brothers winning a belt.
Yeah, but I mean, no, I don't see that team winning a belt. Although, if they want to go and shock some people, that's a hell of a surprise and be a lot of fun. But I mean, this is a title built for the Bullet Club,
basically. Jay Lethal versus Michael Elgin. No, this is not ROH Final Battle. This is New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it is for the ROH title.
I mean, that's definitely Lethal. That's
Lethal.
I thought Lethal was coming to NXT. Wouldn't there talks of that happening?
I think that Lethal's contract is coming up, and I think that he didn't re-sign, and I think that Elgin, given his really good performance over in the G1, I think that in him getting the fuck over, I think he's going to destroy Jay Lethal, and I think that he's going to win the belt.
I don't see that happening. I really see Lethal winning this one. I don't know. I don't think Lethal would go to NXT. I think he sees that already we've seen Solomon Crow leave. So who knows?
We've seen a bunch of people leave, but that's all for different reasons, and it's all different people. So you can't just judge one person for leaving and then say, oh, this person would leave too, because this one person left. Kenny Omega, the champion, versus Kushida, the singles match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. This is the only match I think that the Bullet Club is going to lose this particular time around, and I think that Kushida is going to make himself a star over Kenny Omega in this match. This is my secret match of the night.
I don't think it's much of a secret that it's going to be a great match.
But I think it's going to be the match of the night. I think it's going to steal the show.
I don't think it's going to steal the show. I think it's going to be a classic of a match, but I think the match that's going to steal the show is coming up a little bit later in the card. But I also think Kushida is probably going to take the belt.
Bullet Club Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson against GBH, which is Steve Makabe and Honma. I would slap my head again. I would slap my head, but I wouldn't be able to hold down the push to talk button. Bullet Club going over. Given the recent controversy with Honma, I really don't think they're going to win the belt.
Yeah, I don't think Honma could do it either.
I think it's going to be a really good match, but I'm assuming Bullet Club is going to walk home with all three sets of tag titles, more than likely.
Right. Goto versus Naito. The only match here that isn't the New Japan Rumble for a belt. That isn't for a belt. Yes.
Yeah. What a weird matchup to have, and what a strange spot in the card to have this matchup, considering it's not for the championship.
Right. I mean, this is definitely like a number one contendership kind of thing. Like, one person's going to go one way and the other person's going to go the other. And you can tell by the way that they're building this up that, some face is going to win one of these titles and and one of them is going to chase it. And I don't think it's going to be the Never title.
Yeah, I say Naito probably ends up winning this one with the way that his stable is building month after month, week after week.
Yeah, I think I got Naito in this one. We're going to try to wrap this up really quick here. Ishii versus Shibata. I got Shibata.
This is
Shibata's match.
This is my match of the night right here. This match is going to steal the show. This is going to be a hard-hitting fucking match. I think it is finally Shibata's time. I'm a little sad he didn't get the IC title, but I think it's his time for this. This match is going to be fucking great.
Nakamura versus Styles.
I'm gonna go with Nakamura.
I'm gonna say Styles.
I'm gonna say Styles too.
Styles.
That's interesting. I kind of thought more people would go with the swag lord, but I can see why.
Yeah.
Wait, is it Emo Styles?
Swag lord? Yeah, it's Emo Styles.
Oh, Emo Styles for sure, because it's lame. He's going to do it ironically.
Basically. He's going to get over. It's going to be good. As long as his back is fine, I think that AJ wins. If it's not, then you'll see Nakamura win. And this match is so telegraphed, it's not even funny, but it's the culmination of the story, and I really like it. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Kazuchika Okada. Okada wins. I mean, this is obvious. Okada wins.
It's all about the story they're going to tell in the ring. That's this. It's been building for an entire year, and if they can put on 30 minutes of just a great story, it's going to be like an all-time classic.
No, draw.
Oh my god! Really?
Yes.
Out of all the things you're going to ride the fence on,
Broadway.
you would ride the fence on this?
It's going to be Broadway. A 30-minute
Okada wins clean.
I think isn't the IWGP titles an hour long? That would be an hour long Broadway match.
That would be an hour of wrestling. And then also, if Tanahashi doesn't win the belt here, he will never challenge for the belt again.
Oh,
that's the step.
I I have a feeling that this is just Tanahashi stepping out of the spotlight. You look at all of his storylines this past year with guys like Yano. I think he sees what he can do in the ring now as like just being an ambassador and being a funny character, and I think he likes it more being that way.
Right.
Like, he had so much fun in that Yano feud that I just wanted it to continue forever.
Me too. It was really fun to watch over the summer. All right, guys, we should really wrap this up because some other people have to go do other things. That's what you should watch this week in wrestling on Monday morning at some god awful hour.
3 a.m. I think it's 3 a.m. Eastern. Yeah.
3 a.m. on the East Coast.
Oh Jesus!
Come on! Come on!
Come on your face?
No, ew, gross. Wow.
That's what everybody else does.
Bilingual. There's a lot of bi things I am, but lingual is not one of them.
That never gets old. Hey,
wait a minute. Did I just mean to say that?
I don't think you did, but be that as it may, we're live.
It's only gave the balls touch.
We are live.
That's me. Your uncle. Yeah, Uncle Creepy. And I can also be your daddy.
All right, everybody, thank you very much for listening. Let's get through these plugs here. Smarksnark.com, Twitter.com/Smarksnark, Facebook.com/Smarksnark, Smarksnark@gmail.com. You can also call us at 812-408-9666, 812-408...
Nope.
No?
It's now Smarksnark at smarksnark.com, or just contact at smarksnark.com if you're a promoter.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got the ones.
Yeah, if you're a promoter or a wrestler, or I don't know, a manager, or you put the ring together sometimes, or you hang out real creepy by the locker room and put your ear against the door and listen to the workers talk, whatever. You can email us at booking@smarksnark.com, and we will special schedule you to be in the show if you don't want to just like drop in or whatever. SoundCloud.com/smark-smark. I don't know why. That's just a thing that SoundCloud decided to do, is put a dash in between the smark and the snark. I don't get it, but, I don't think I can change it at this point.
Subscribe to us on iTunes. We're up on there.
Yeah,
give us a like and a poke.
Whoa! You got to buy me dinner first.
Whoa, buddy! Whoa!
If you're gonna give me a like and a poke, you got to at least buy me dinner, or call us if you want at 812-408. Woo! That's 812-408-9666.
All right, for everybody here, thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next year. Take care and spike your hair.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
You know it.
Good night, Las Vegas, New Mexico.